Hi everyone. Good morning. I noticed that I got a handful, quite a bit, of subscribers, so I'd like to say welcome and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here for me. I'm feeling better. Okay, and thank you for coming back if you are a returning subscriber. I learned to say that from other channels. Um, so I'm going to try to quickly summarize and what was that? Yeah, channel summary and like what's going on here with this channel. That's what I decided to do. So, ever since I was a little girl, I was very connected with the spirit realm. I called it spirit world stuff because I didn't really know what to call it exactly, but that's what I always called it. Spirit world stuff or spirit realm stuff. And, I would start by saying, here, this has been painfully difficult for me to open up about my life and about a lot of the events that have occurred, different types that have led me here to this moment now. Uh-oh, I'm losing focus. Hold on. Okay. So, no, focus. So, here on this channel, when I started, I made a vow to myself and to, well, even though you didn't know it, everyone that watched my videos, that I was going to be 100% genuine and honest and truthful no matter what. Like I might have, well, the thing is that I might have not been able to talk about certain things, but that doesn't mean I was holding it back to be deceitful or in any kind of, sneaky way to manipulate the story in any kind of way. It was just that it's difficult for me to talk about certain aspects of my life. But I want you to know that I decided to do this because I was what I was looking for. You understand? So when I was out there looking at people, I thought, like, I know that I talk about her, for example, but a lot. I use her as an example. But it's just because, how do you say that? I was so enthralled. Like, I was so excited about finding Elena Danaan. I thought that she was a lot like me, which she is, but just not in all the ways that I thought. I'm pretty fucking sure. Excuse my language. Uh, um, but what it was that I thought that people were going to be like me. That no matter what, even if it was difficult, they would be genuine and honest, even if they didn't have a lot, to go on, like me, because I don't have a large number of experiences with these dimensional beings in my waking body. In my spiritual life, it's different, but in both my physical and my spiritual life, I've had major difficulties and a lot of hardships and a lot of heartaches. And so it's almost made it so that I don't have a choice but to be genuine and honest and open. Like it's almost taken all of my layers off of the onion and I'm just left with the core. I guess it was because I was so desperate to learn the answer of what it was that was going on in my own life. I was seeking to learn through other people about myself. And I think that's what we're all doing. There's no shame in that. That's how we learn. Even my little cat. Just now we're at the stage where Salem and Marvin are learning how to play together. And you know, Salem would rush up to Marvin, and Marvin would get all scared and hunch down and hiss. And then Salem just lay down and show him, like, I'm not going to hurt you, bud. You know, and so they're like at that stage, and then he goes a little bit more where Marvin was on the cat tree, and then Salem jumped up on the cat tree and clawed it and whatever, and then they just sat there and looked at each other. But at first Marvin was a little like, ooh, you know, because he's so small. But that's how you learn. Or when Salem's outside, Marvin's watching him, and he copies Salem. So Salem was laying on, I don't know, you can't really see it, hang on. There's a blue Walmart bag on the floor that I cut the handles so they can't get their head stuck in the handles. And they like to slide in it and play in it. But Marvin saw Salem laying on the bag, and then he did it. So this is how we learn. Okay, focus, focus, focus. Right. I really don't want it to be about speaking about other people and their journey and their decisions. Unfortunately, though, there's been so much. Oh, there's little Marvin. Come here, Marv. See, I'm getting him to come over. Come here, Marvin. Come here, Daddy. Oh, I don't know. Come here. Come here, Marv. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here, Marvin. Come here, honey. Marvin. Oh, I've got his little spinny toy going, so you'll see him eventually. Seen him right there. He's just a little fart. But yeah, my physical and spiritual life difficulties. Channel summary. Channel summary. After some time, I realized there was some odd things about the things she would say. And one of them that always comes to my mind is, she said this multiple times, Elena Denon. She said, if you want to contact extraterrestrials, get in touch with your spirit guides and your spirit team. Excuse me? What would you need to do that for? So your spirit guide, what do they have, the phone number for the extraterrestrials? Like, but that's because it's spiritual, right? And a lot of your spirit guides are these extraterrestrials. Mm-hmm. But they're spirits. It's connected. I'm not an expert on it all, but if you listen, they use a play on words. And the whole thing is pretty unfair. Just to sell a book, to make it seem like you're getting on a spaceship to go to Neptune. That really wasn't what I was supposed to do in this video. Dang it. But there's a lot of people that did that. Corey Good did it. You know, there's a lot of them. A lot of them that did it for money. You know? And really, if I think about it, it helped and it harmed. But I don't want to harm. And so, I just want to say that if I ever cause anyone any kind of harm, even heartache, if I break your heart in some way, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I really didn't do it with intention. This channel is about me trying to figure out myself, my life, and all that's going on around me just as much as you are. And that's how I feel unconditional love is. If I would want that from somebody else, that's what I should give to them. Yes? I may not be an expert at that either, because I haven't had a lot of experience, and I would like to talk about it. I think that it has value. Being in my situation that I grew up in is not as common. Oop. Hey, Marv. Come here, baby. Come here. Marvin. Oh, he's got to go to the bathroom. So, yeah. Right. But, so I digressed so badly. So when I was young, this happens to us all. I mean, at least the people who have the gift of their God spark, their star seed. That's what that is. A lot of people will identify that in the beginning. Like when you first really get into it, especially as an adult. That's what happened with me. That was one of the first things I found. And of course, I remembered it from Sailor Moon, Starseed. Sailor Moon's incredible for all that awakening, and like there's a lot of symbolism and hidden things in there to almost trigger your memory. I don't know if she did that on purpose or not. The creator. I made a good video where I talked about Source, and I have a good example about Naoko Takeuchi and Sailor Moon. I have to watch it though, because I can't remember all that I said. I might have talked about the twin flame thing a little bit. But, digress. So, yeah, when I was young, I mean, yeah, I had CPTSD probably when I was very young, but there was more than that because I was always intuitive. I was always spiritual. It wasn't about hearing voices and stuff. It wasn't like that. And it would happen randomly without expecting it. I mean, that's why when I first started talking about this, people were like, well, it sounds like you saw a ghost, because a lot of the time you will energetically feel these changes because it is a spiritual thing. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not going on around you. We don't have the light spectrum vision to be able to see certain things. And this is why they're out of our range of vision. A lot of the fourth dimensional stuff, Marvin! A lot of the fourth dimensional stuff happens over here. So that's why a lot of the time you will catch it in your side vision, because that's where it's happening. It's in the side, but it is out of our spectrum. Now we can tune our bodies like a machine to be able to pick up these frequencies and vibrations. It is possible with training. Now, with what I went through, being in fight or flight, in that stressful, like think about how I was just seeing the pressure and stress on coal for it to turn into diamond. You see what I'm saying? All that stress and heat and pressure, and then it transforms. That's basically what I feel this life purpose was. Like, even though I went through all these terrible, terrible things that no one should ever experience, in the grand scheme of things, it transformed me into this. And even though it is very difficult, like I said, like I deal with, a very terrible bouts of depression. Yesterday when I was going down, like my nervous system, did you just see me twitch like that? Yeah, my nervous system is a mess, because I lived 17 years like that, and then another 14 years with an abusive, cruel situation with that twin flame thing, But, like, I can't be 100% certain about really anything. I don't know anything for sure, right? For sure, except for what I've experienced myself. It's almost like you can say, well, I know what this tastes like because I ate it and this is the taste for me. Because it might be different for somebody else. Like, I might like a banana. The person next to me may not like bananas. We don't need to get into that much complication, but, oh, I've lost my track of thought again. Oh, Marvin! Squirrel! Like that. Marvin! My Marv! So the Starseed thing. Ooh, come here, baby. Let them see you. Come here, baby. Hi. Little Marv. He's just a little fella, and he looks like Mister. I made a little video talking about what I was going to do with the channel, and I have a really cute interaction. Well, it's actually kind of funny because they hiss at each other, but it's cute. You'll see how Salem's a good boy. They do that to, like, feel each other out, They scare each other, too. But anyway, that's little Marvin. Marvin the Martian. And, okay. Give me a moment. I don't want this to be too long because I know people have like data and all these things and they're on their cell phones all the time. Hold on. So in my last video, I was really overwhelmed. And that's because sometimes it's like almost standing in front of a pool of everything that I've been through and all of these questions that I have and everything, and it becomes overwhelming. It brings up self-doubt and you know, some of my I guess inside your body remembers. So I guess it's just like the fear of going through similar things a second time. A second time. I will taunt you a second time. Every time I say second time, that's what I think of. That's from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Right. And I do smoke a lot of weed. I was doing better when I wasn't at work. Of course, I don't smoke weed at work, but, you know, and that would keep me occupied and not just sitting around smoking weed all day. But I do that almost to like fulfill the things that I lack in life. Friendship, love, things like that. It almost numbs that part of me so that it doesn't hurt as much. I've had a lot of pain in my life, and I think that that's given me the ability to see that in others, and it took me a long time, but pain really is the core reason of pretty much all, well, yeah, pretty much all the core reason of why people do shitty things, you know? It's one of the reasons why I had sunk so low in vibration enough to have those beings even find me vibrationally and in frequency back in 2015, and that's after that man very cruelly and so selfishly it wasn't anything to him to do but to just break my heart like that, crush my spirit. I mean, this is something that I've noticed and observed for a lot of people. They go through it at different times, never the same way, never the exact same way, similar sometimes, but the lessons are individualized for your own personal development. So, but it like I was saying, oh geez, like I was saying, I started off by recognizing, just by feeling, and I think physical life is all about feeling, because we are alive to feel. Everything is about feeling, smell, taste, sight, everything in this kind of, it's a physical thing, so it would be to feel. But I remember when I was young, even before the phone would ring, I'd be like, oh, Mom, your friend Pam's going to call, Nanny's going to call, my grandma, Aunt Darlene's going to call, and I'd be right every time. Yeah, or if I knew, I could feel it when Jenny was going to call me. Yeah, actually, this happened the other day. I was waiting to get my new glasses, and this was on Monday. And, last Monday, because today is Sunday, so tomorrow will be Monday again, so it was a week ago. And it was about, I don't know, 10 a.m. I go over to the phone because I realize that the optometrist has my home phone number. So I went, here, it's right behind here. I went over and I checked to see who called last. Nope, it wasn't them, okay? I put the phone down. I go to walk away. The phone rings and it was the eye doctor. Yeah, it's like subconsciously, almost like a radio signal, you pick it up. Have you ever had a song in your head and then turned on the radio and that song was playing? Yeah, that's your pineal gland. This is almost like your antenna. your alien implant, as Elena calls it, but it's not. It's your pineal gland. Now, you'll get a buzzing, like a sensation here, but if you really want to know its location, go to the top of your head and here and picture an L and meet in the middle. Whoops, I missed. Meet in the middle. That's where it is. I felt it before because it does buzz almost like a bee. Now, this is later on when you've worked it like a muscle and you've trained it and worked with it, because that's how it works. It's not only about decalcification. It's like working out. You have to use it and learn how to recognize to get these pings and signals, but this is how it starts when you're young, and it may, wane off a little bit because it stopped around. I really wanted to leave it behind me when I was like 17 and 18 because I wanted to live a regular life and, be like everybody else and, put those childhood things behind me because that's what I kind of felt it was, what everybody told me it was. And then it started back up again when I was I always had these things, but I tried to repress and ignore them. And even though I did somewhat use it in my everyday life, my intuition and my gut feeling and things like that. But, even when I was 10 years old and I was watching Sailor Moon, I specifically remember the episode always when they go back to the moon, Sailor Moon and the original team of Sailor Soldiers, or Senshi, whatever you want to, because I prefer the Japanese version, and I watch it with subtitles. But when they go back to the moon, I watched it in English as a child, obviously. They talked to Sailor Moon's mother that saved her spirit energy long enough there on the moon in like a crystal or whatever to wait for her daughter to come back. She used her spiritual energy to give her a message and told her what happened in her past life and that she was reborn on Earth to try to save like the planet, like to save the world again because they failed to save the moon. Okay? And I'm like, oh, it happened to me. I was reborn like that from somewhere else here to help save the world. Like, just like it was nothing. Like, I didn't even have to think about it. Just like that time that this was a few years later, I was about 14, 15 years old. And I remember I was at my grandmother's house. And I was watching television. It was around when they sent, I think it was the Voyager Mars Explorer things in the 90s. And I saw Mars on TV, and I just blurted out, like it was common knowledge, like everybody should have known this. I was like, oh, Mom, there used to be people on Mars, but they blew themselves up. That's how I said it. Yeah. I didn't understand why they were all being like laughing at me and telling me, oh, that's not true, and you should write stories, that's a good one. I'm like, what's wrong with them? I didn't understand, that certain souls are at different points in their reincarnation cycle. I happen to be lucky enough, do I really want to go there? When I hear someone say that they remember every single past life they've ever had, I doubt. The reason is this physical life is so hard. How do you deal with all your issues, problems, people you loved, all of that? That's a lot on your mental state. That's why. You'd probably be like a forest person. Like that dude in Lord of the Rings with the bird shit on his head. The wizard with the bird shit on his head. Woo! That's what you'd be like with that. So, but I'm lucky enough, for whatever reason, I believe it's because I was meant to learn from it in this life so I don't make the same mistakes twice. Because we might be at another end of an age Because I was here at the end of the antediluvian age, too, in the past age, the age before this one. And I was having all these crazy past life memories. I didn't know what they were. A lot of them came back due to that abuse that I was going through. It wasn't just because to disassociate, to try to survive it. To do what I was doing with that was I was dreaming about my own family, true love, and having babies, and making a family right, not like the family that I had. That's what kept me alive. Okay? I would daydream about that, finding my own true love. In fact, I had many avatars of who that person would be growing up, you know, crushes or whatever. I think the first one was Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and then Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. Oh God, I liked Orlando Bloom for a little while, you know, but these are just all people go through these things where they have like these crushes, and you kind of feel like this is the type of person you want to be with and things like that. But that's what kept me alive, daydreaming about true love. Not about this kind of thing. This kind of thing I couldn't stop and I couldn't prevent. And I didn't much enjoy it because it was scary a lot of the times and confusing. And it made me feel even more like an alien than I already did, you know? I didn't realize that other people weren't living like I was. I didn't know that their parents weren't beating on them like mine were to me. Oh, Marvin. Hey, buddy. Come here, little Marv. You're such a good boy. I thought that everybody lived the same as I did. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. I don't want to scare you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, girl. Oh, Marvin. Look, bud. Oh, it's Marvin. Doesn't he look like Mister? Hey, buddy. Oh, you're a good boy, right? Yeah, good boy. You sit right here with mommy. Oh, what a good fella. Hey. Oh, what's that? It's mommy's phone. Go see. What's that? Are you gonna call somebody? He's got a little blankie right there that he likes to sleep on, so we might go and do that. Get a dirty bum? Clean your bum. I love you. Okay. Right. So we're almost at half an hour. Okay. If this in any way sounds like you, it's because at one point we all go through this. It's like these cycles we go on, the reincarnation cycle. Like what I was saying, oh crud. I made a good video, and I didn't post it yet, about the animals and reincarnation cycles and their ascension consciousness, because, whoops, it's okay, fella. You're okay. Come here. You're all right. Come on. I know you tried to get in Mr. bed, or Salem's bed, eh? Oh, I'm getting old. Hey? You trying to get in Salem's bed? You're okay. Don't go behind there. Here, come sit with Mommy. Yeah. Oh, you're purring. You're a good boy. Why don't you come sit in the window? Yeah, you like sitting in the window. Yeah? Good boy. I know you're sleepy. Find a place to sleep. Right. Well, yeah, with animals in the reincarnation cycle, because they go through it too, and at one time we were all animals. All of us. We cycle through all life forms in our consciousness and our souls, so we have experience. And then you finally get to be human. So I talked about that in my little video there. I made it in the morning. I just kept the tape on the thing. I wanted to step away. I did take a moment to read some of the comments, and that really helped me feel a lot better and helped me feel loved and supported. Even, you know, sometimes I feel like the internet's not real. And I don't mean it in a rude way. Come here, buddy. But like, because people aren't around. I can't shake their hand and say thank you. Look in your eyes and be like, I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. Like I, I, it feels not real because it's almost like it's missing something in the interaction. Even though I can pick up energy, sometimes stronger than others, depending on, how I'm feeling or whatever. But it's just, I'm sure you know what I mean. I think that we all feel like that. Oh, little Marvin, isn't he sweet? I'm always afraid he might fall off of there. But when I go out, I put pillows all around there just in case he falls off and I'm not here. So he won't hurt himself. The cushion his fault. Um, yeah, we all feel like that. And that's the thing, because we all have the same God spark inside of us. You know? We all have that seed. And it's up to us to have it grow. You gotta water it, and you gotta give it sunshine, just like in that picture I made about source connection. With me on the flower, the lotus flower. I didn't even know about the lotus at the time. I channeled that. That came from within me. And sometimes I just see things to help explain what I'm trying to say, which is helpful. Like I call it my inner mirror. Almost like seeing it on a movie screen or something. Yeah. Now I don't remember tons about my past life. It's not necessary to remember it all. I think that would have driven me completely crazy because it was hard enough to remember stuff and not be able to have that anymore. And especially being treated the way I was, not only at home, but at school too. I was very badly bullied, you know, and alienated there too. So it was really hard. But I love who I am today. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I'm just alone and lonely and wish I could find other people that I feel on a vibratory level, like safe and cool with and comfortable. I don't feel drained or like just balanced. Like I'm so tired of, I don't mean to be rude, but sometimes people come over to my house. I know I'm not on the same level with them, and I become like a guidance counselor, and it's exhausting. It's almost like pouring everything out of me, but not getting anything in return, reciprocation of energy. And that's hard, you know? It's not that I don't want to help others, it's just I don't have anybody for me. That's why I started crying like when I first got Marvin a little bit, because here I am, I care so much for them and I'm caring and doing everything, but there's nobody to care for me when I need it, even just to give me a hug. hmm And it's been a long time, a long time. So, but yeah, so, um, I was thinking about the reincarnation cycle. We probably, were in the ocean, which would be like the blue world. Because there's this Navajo legends thing where about the well, not legends, but Navajo teachings rather, where they talk about the four worlds. And this also has to do with the dimensional beings and everything like that. See, everybody everywhere has this, but it's like we have different languages, they have this information, but it's translated differently through their observation and experiences, right? But if you look at it, you realize just how similar it is and what they're trying to tell you. Now, mm, sometimes it's taken on more of a us versus them type of thing. The opposing forces where, you know, I'll never like the word demon. It's so rude. But, because a lot of beings that aren't have been called that, So, but it started with me with angels and demons, and, I get it. It is dimensional beings, but they are on different dimensional planes, which makes them from different places, you know? So, you know how some people say non-player characters, or that sometimes this is a simulation and we're Sims? It's because in the beginning, our God spark, I would assume, is the same, all the same. And then we're influenced by everything that happens around us and da 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 da, which makes us and molds us into the person, people that we become. But in the beginning, we're all the same in the seed form, yeah? Maybe, I don't want to get too technical. I'm gonna tire myself out. But maybe with like how DNA and there's genetic stuff within the egg and the sperm and stuff like that, it reflects elsewhere with us. A lot of people say that our memory, especially with past life and things like that, is held in our blood, but I think another form is it's held in your energy consciousness, which comes and forms your body, your blood. It becomes you. You are it, and it is you. It is your energy form. It's what is in every cell, your energy. That's what really drew me to that Nos Confunden stuff, because when I saw his map, the first thing I thought was, oh, that looks like a giant cell, like the ones we have in our bodies. And so as within, so without, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm damaged, and yes, I smoke weed, but I still have use and value. I'm not broken. I'm not going to lie and make up stories or nothing like that. I'm really trying my best for myself and everybody else so we can figure it out together. I don't want to graduate by myself. I'm so lonely. Of course I don't want to go alone. And yeah, I know what people say, you got to get comfortable, and I am almost too comfortable with being by myself, like being with my own best friend, learning to enjoy and love my own company. If I didn't, I don't even think I'd be able to do this at all. This isn't easy for me. It still isn't after, like, what, 3 or 4 years? I'm just a little bit crazier, so it just makes it a little more easy to sit and talk to a computer with no one here. I'm talking to myself. I know that people are going to listen to it, but you're talking to yourself right now. Now I'm talking about myself, talking about myself, talking about myself. Okay? Get it? Like a reflection? That's weird as heck. And now I'm reflecting on it. But that's how it happens. Cycles, almost like when you throw a rock into a pool of water and the ripples go out, right? It grows, just like our consciousness, it grows with every life cycle, with every ring. And it reflects like out there with the rings, like I was saying about how they graduate from the Earth School. And then they go out to the different rings and different jobs there. Some of them are protectors and guidance counselors and healers and whatever else. Shit disturbers too. That's just part of the cycle of things. You know? And I'll leave it here. I promise this time I'm really going to leave it here. Won't go more than 40 minutes, so I gotta hurry. But in that little video, and I am going to try to post it, but if I don't, this was the most important part. So I had a little daydream because I was thinking about all of this stuff about God and like creators and creations and stuff like that. And because I was bored and lonely, I envisioned myself going to, in my imagination, okay, it's fine, I don't care. I envisioned myself going to visit Sailor Moon in her world. And it was just very quick, where I show up and she's like, whoa, who are you? And I'm like, well, I'm Lacey, and you're Sailor Moon, Suggy. Tuskino, or whatever. I'm not an expert at that. And she's like, how do you know me? And I'm like, well, in my world, in the video I bring my book out or whatever, but I'm like, in my world, your book. And, I know all this about you because this person is your creator. What do you mean my creator? Like God? Yeah, basically God. So her God would be Nyaku Takeuchi. Nayako, wrote about all of their lives, who their parents were going to be, where they went to school, if they did well in school, their likes, dislikes, who they were going to be friends with, what they experienced, how that made them into people as they grew. Do you understand? She wrote their story. Just like there's somebody that wrote ours. And, if that, that might help explain, like, what and who this consciousness is of God, and how we all have this in us. And that's why a lot of these people, when they're growing their seed, they take what they've got in their bucket and they create with it. Some people are gonna, like in the Initiates of the Flame, some people are gonna choose the Black Grail, which is to make money off of it and to prosper at the expense of others. But clearly, I'm on the White Grail, and it is full of sacrifice. I explain all of this in other videos, okay? Dang it. I'm really sorry that it always goes about 40 minutes or so. But yeah, let's end it there. I hope this was good. I'm going to have to rewatch it because I can't remember everything I already said. But, yeah. I don't know if this is going to help or not, but it is what it is. I think that by not sharing who I've become, who I have been created to be, it may be withholding back my purpose, because the only way that, like, I don't have superpowers anymore like I used to. I used to be able to shoot an energy discharge. I thought it was lightning when I was really young, but it actually turns out it's an energy discharge. You can control the output, so I could literally turn somebody to dust. They wouldn't even see it or feel it coming. Or just zap them. Ow! Or knock you out right on your arse. Depends. I don't have that anymore. But what I do have is this heart and this mind and this consciousness and this voice to be able to express that is inside of me. And there's a lot of not so good influence out there. And so if I remain true to my vow, which I always will, I can't help it. I always said if I ever fart in a video, it's staying in, because there's no way that I can edit. I don't know how. I've learned a little bit, but I don't have any fancy programs. I'm surprised this computer's still running. So that's how genuine. Then you can rate it from 1 to 10. 10 is shit yourself. 1 is those ones, So yeah, I loved Usagi because that's Sailor Moon, because she reminded me a lot of myself. I was always late for school, and I'm terrible at math as well. So yeah, that's what's going on here. In 2015, I saw a being in my room that I really thought was an alien. Turns out not so much. Dimensional being is a really good place to be at. I haven't seen the Earth from the moon, so I don't know what it looks like. I don't. I've never gone as far south as possible to see if there's an ice wall, so I can't tell you that for sure either. But the only thing that I do know for sure is that what led me to that too is I thought, well, all these elites, the Freemasons, all these friggin' weirdos are lying about everything else. So why wouldn't they lie about that too? Remember, who are you, where are you, and where are you going are the three most important questions. That was Santos Bonacci who said that, and I know he really lost his shit too. Poor Santos, but I don't blame him. I've been just as angry. I just, thank God, kept that to myself and ranted about it alone. Well, sometimes I would express it to others, but that's what happened to him. And so I haven't checked it lately, but I remember his channel got taken down. But he did say that, and that was one of the most crucial things I needed. And I do have that now. At least enough that if I were to die today, I'd be good. I would know. I'd be like, okay. I'd be able to navigate. Like the navigator who crossed the ice wall. Nice. As long as you can answer that for you. I think that's what matters the most. You know, because it's individualized, so I think it'll be different for everybody. And it's okay to change your mind, you know? As you evolve, your thoughts can as well. So it doesn't really matter. As long as you answer that for you, that's where you're at. And if you can find peace with that, that's all that matters. Healthy debate is good, but don't fight over it. Because there's no way. You can't fly out there and look back and be like, there, you bastards, it's round. Or there, you bastards, it's flat. You see what I'm saying? Because really, it is about dimensional plane. So, there's no point in arguing about it. So I hope this helped. How many times I said I was going to go now? But yeah, I hope this helps. I hope people watch it and find value. I'm going to try my best to get better and better at explaining and talking and finishing my stories properly. It would help if I had someone here to keep me on track, so I'd be like talking to them and then I could be like, where was I? That happens, you know, it's nice when someone's here because then I finally get through stuff. Yeah. Oh, my shirt says anywhere but here. Isn't that appropriate? It's got a little UFO and a beam and some planets and mountains. Ow, I hear my knee cracking like an old lady. It cracked like 3 times. It doesn't hurt, I'm just rubbing it just 'cause. I'm not that old. Somebody called me an old lady. That was a mean comment that I got. I forget, it's something old lady. But whatever, I'm not old. But isn't that relevant? Anywhere but here. True dat. So, this spirit body, you can't tell. A lot of the times, like, even when I was in that experience in January 15, 2015, I'm like, whoa, because you have to check. Like, oh, where am I? Like, I couldn't tell if I was really there or not at first. Took me a while. So, like, I didn't know if I'd been abducted or something, you know? But a lot of that happens in the spirit body, and you won't know, you know? But your spirit and your physical are connected, so but they also have the ability to become physical. Like you and me, you could high five them. I can't explain that. I felt the density change in my room that night when I saw that thing, but I don't know how they do that, but they can. So it's not as, oh, it's just spirit, it's just ghosts, it doesn't matter. No, no, it's way more real than people. They should. They very much should. It's connected, just like you are a spirit and body. I'll probably post that animal video that I talk about, because I talk about some of my experiences and how I got Marvin and everything. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get ready and go out. I went out last night for a nice evening walk, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get dressed up. It makes me feel good. I like dress up like I'm going to an English tea party. Did I say that already? Fancy, like, floppy straw hat. I love it. And a fancy dress and some cute little shoes and my fancy belt. It's not too much. It's just enough. It's just enough. I'll show you. Maybe I'll do, like, I'll pause the video, change an outfit, put a keep changing, and I'll show you my little tea party outfit. So, like, English tea party. I just decided to enjoy life and the creation that I am. And makes me feel good, so I'm going to do it. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I wish you well. And again, I thank you for stopping by, and I'm so sorry this is so long. See, this is what prevents people from listening to me. Oh, dang it. Alright. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed seeing little Marvin. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's up there. Up there. His little ear right there? That's him. So, take care. Thank you. Love to you. And I will talk with you soon. Okay? Bye. Oh. That's what I was holding back. Excuse me. Bye.